Guys, I just want to show you this bike carrier. It's a Swagman E-Spec 2-bike carrier, available only in a 2-inch hitch configuration. So as you can see here, fits 2-inch hitch receivers, carries 2 bikes up to 80 pounds each. It folds up, which is very convenient. Fits tires up to 5 inches wide, so good for fat bikes. And fits wheels 20 inches to 29 inches in diameter, which is great. So this thing retails for $5.89 Canadian, and we'll have a link in the description if you want to get one today. We will open this thing up, see what's inside, and get this thing installed on the car. Okay, here's a list of tools that you're gonna need for this. Let's start with the easy. Number 2 Phillips screwdriver, also a 13mm wrench, 2 3/4-inch wrenches. However, I'm going to be using a 19 and a 3/4. They're both same size pretty much, and a 7/8. Now, with this pin here that holds the hitch to the receiver, this size here is not 7/8. It's a little bit bigger than 7/8, and it actually comes out to a 23mm, believe it or not. So we tried 15/16. It's a little bit big. It would probably work if you had to, but 23 seems to be bang on. It doesn't say that in here, but that's what it is. So, is what it is. We got 2 sets of keys so your main receiver pin has a lock on it to lock this to the hitch with a set of keys. There's the lock. Second set of keys for the individual bike locks that hold the bikes down. And then, yep, we just got a bunch of pieces that we basically need to put together. So there's not a lot of tools that you're going to need. Oh, we do also need this hex key, but that's included with the kit and located right here. It's a nice big one. So I think what we're gonna try to do here to get this installed on the vehicle is we're gonna put this piece on first, and we're gonna build off of that on the vehicle. So let's get this over there, get started. All right, we gotta slide that through. Take this with the lock off, of course. And we just wanna line that up till we pass through the hole. Now the hole inside of this rack mount frame is threaded. So you're just going to thread that in, pretty simple. Just till it's snug there. And then we have our locking barrel here. It just pushes on, pull the key out, that's on like that. Now, we do need to tighten that down with our 23mm socket. I'm gonna go grab a wrench. All right, this, your main mounting bolt right here, that's 23mm. You're gonna torque that down to 90 foot-pounds. All right, we're gonna take this upright bar assembly and drop it in place here. It just sits between these 2 slats right here. And then we need to take this gusset and this hardware here. We've got 2 of the long bolts, followed by this hex key bolt here. We've got 3 lock washers, 3 nuts. These are 13mm nuts, by the way. This is a 5mm hex key. And we're gonna be torquing this hardware down to 14 foot-pounds. So we take this gusset piece here. Now we're gonna want the nuts to be on this side. So our bolts are gonna come through the back side, and we're going to pass them through. We just need to make sure that our holes are all lined up. Pretty simple. There is a square cut out on this side, and you can see how these are a locking square drive. Pass that through like that. And then this one's going to be a little bit trickier. If you go around to the other side, you'll see we need to just go in underneath of this bar here. So we'll stick that underneath like so. And you can use the provided Allen key. It's very long, so it's for that. I just grabbed this tool here, and we'll set this piece on, followed by our 3 lock washers and nuts. Now the two lower ones, seeing as they have the square locking drive, the bolts will hold themselves while we torque that down. However, the top one, we're going to need to hold that screw from turning because it's going to want to turn. So what we're going to do here, I'm just going to go grab another ratchet so I can hold that, and then we'll torque these all down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 to 4 passes on these just to make sure that everything is settled and secured. And although they may not feel like they're that tight, the lock washer does prevent the nut from backing off. So once we make sure that all of these are good, we can proceed. Next step here is to take these bars right here. We're going to slide them together. You can see how there's a male and a female. We slide them together so that they're like that. And then what we need to do here, along these two, once we stick them together, along with these plates here, we're going to bring these over and set them on so that they're like this. And also so that this one is like this. And then we're going to take those two top plate pieces. I'll just show that. Okay, so these little drainage holes that are on the outside, or they might not be drainage holes, the screws might go there. We need to make sure that those are facing down. So make sure that those are down. Take our top plates. We're going to set those on top, just like so. And now the hardware that we're going to need to do this, the other 4 remaining bolts that have the square locking drive, they're only threaded about halfway. We can go and drop those through from the top. And then we're also going to need 4 locking washers, and we're going to need 4 nuts. Very straightforward. Once we get these in, we're going to install the lock washers followed by the nuts. We're going to torque those down to 14 foot-pounds. Lock washer, then nut. Make sure everything looks uniform and settled in the correct positions. Okay, we're going to torque those down to 14 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go around and do all of them. I'll probably go over them 2 or 3 times just to make sure that they're all torqued down. The next thing we're going to do is install these here. So you'll notice one's bigger, one's smaller. First one you're going to want to install is the big one. Now this faces towards the vehicle. So we just line this up with our ratcheting rail, and very simple. We just drop that down and it ratchets down. To bring it back up, we just push this in and lift. Fairly simple. Then we'll follow it up with the smaller one on top. Just like that, and you're able to lift or lower to the desired height for whatever bike you have. They're also lockable as well, like I said in the beginning, so that obviously your bike doesn't get stolen. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is install these pieces here. You'll see that there's a big one and a small one, and we have 2 sets. So what we need to do, you can see here, this is the front of the vehicle up here. and you can see there's a big one, and then towards the back there is a small one. So they're offset. And that's so that both bikes, the handlebars aren't together. They're opposed from each other, right? So what we're gonna do now, you can see how this has a bit of a curve to it. So when we go to put this on, I'm gonna do the driver's side most forward one. You can see that we're gonna want it to be like this, not like this, like this. So we just slide this on here. Now I'm gonna go grab the other ones. We'll get them put on. We'll show you how they're supposed to be. All right, you want them curved upwards towards the center. So these are adjustable obviously for your bike size, and you just loosen this knob off, and then you're able to slide it whichever distance apart, whether you're running a smaller bike like a BMX or you have a bigger bike like a road bike or something like that. You can widen the distance up for the wheelbase. And then you just turn this adjustable knob to secure that in place and tighten that down. And then once that's tightened down on both sides and the bike's sitting in there right, that's where you're gonna want to have them. Now, we need to put screws on the bottom side of this, but before we do that, let's make life simple. So, we're going to fold this down, like so, and then we're going to remove this pin. You can tilt this upwards and reinstall the pin down into the secondary location. Just like that. Now, we've got these little holes here. So we've got some small Phillips screws with the nylon washers. So we're going to install those now. And they don't have to be extremely tight. The screws do thread into this plastic cap. So if you do over tighten it, it may strip the plastic. So just a good snug fit, but not over tighten. All right, so here's some extra hardware that comes in the kit as well. Now, this extra bolt is for the RV use. You can see that you're gonna be installing a bolt in an additional position when mounted to an RV.
Replaces that pin.
Replaces that pin. Because we're guessing you're not gonna be folding it because it's gonna be on the back of an RV. You also get this other hitch pin as well that's non-lockable, that just has a regular pin to it. Actually, could you stick the lock on this? Maybe they give you different lengths for different... Okay, so this one has a cone-shaped head on it versus the silver one that's down there has a ball-shaped head on it. So this one will not fit with this lock. This lock only fits the ball-shaped one. So maybe a different style of lock for this one. Not too sure, but they give it to you in the kit. So maybe somebody out there will say, I need this one over that one. I don't know, either which way, it's in the kit. So a couple more things to note here before we wrap up. When you don't have any bikes on and you're just like this driving down the highway, make sure that your straps are secured in place and they're not flopping around. We don't want them dragging on the road and getting chewed up. Don't want them whipping the back of the vehicle. So make sure they're secured. Also, this arm here as well. Just make sure that everything is up and out of the road, and then it's back and locked into place. So very important. And secured just like that. I think that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, throw them in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if it helped, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.